VAPs will coming. Okay, so let's get started from here about the PLSQL. So Oracle having the two things, SQL and the PLSQL is the complete package. Okay, so why we'll use the PLSQL? So we have the SQL. So why we will go with the PLSQL? So what is the advantage of that? Why we will go that? So we'll see each and everything. So going with this. Okay, so PLSQL tutorial. So PLSQL is a combination of SQL along with the procedural features of programming language. So SQL is a structured query language. So while writing anything in the SQL, there is some structure as provided by the Oracle. So you need to follow in that way. You need to write the things in that way. Okay, you need to follow. We have some structure. The name itself having structure, query language. So there is, while writing the queries, you need to follow the structure for that. Okay, so in that, it's not the programming language, it's a query language. To interact with database, we'll use the queries. You will always ask the questions to the Oracle to provide the information. Everything is a query in the SQL. Now, so why that Oracle is introduced the PLSQL? So SQL is a query language to make it like as a programming language. So first Oracle was introduced the SQL. In the later days, see here, the PLSQL program language. 1 minute. So the PLSQL programming language was developed by the Oracle Corporation. So later the procedural extension for the SQL. So first the Oracle is developed some language like SQL. So in that they have some problems. They have some problems. It is not a programming language. You are not able to write the programs here. You can able to write the single line queries. Okay. So if you want to like make it like a 5 task in one time. So I need to visit the more. Then I need to go with the movie. From there I need to go with lunch. So then again I need to come to my room. So there is a list of jobs for you. You need to follow that jobs. You need to implement all jobs at a time. So in the SQL, you cannot able to perform like that. You cannot able to perform like that. To perform to perform bunch of commands, bunch of queries at a time, we'll use the PLSQL. So simply so read this all the things. So main funda here. So it's a query language. PLSQL is the programming language. PLSQL. The name itself having the SQL. So PLSQL having so embedded with the SQL commands. All the SQL commands are inbuilt in the PLSQL. So whatever the things you are performing in the SQL, that are all things you can able to perform in PLSQL. Okay, so then so we have the things. Why like okay, so it completely portable high performance transaction language. So how it will high performance. So if you want to visit, if you want to like if you have in the room we have 10 people. So if you want to go out downside from the upside to downside, so one by one we need to move from this place to downside. Okay, to become like a one by one. So there is a traffic. So we are waiting for the another guy need to be down and get it down. Then you will start from here. Okay, instead of that, all the people will go at a time. If a school bell started, right? So all the people will come out of the class. In the similar way, so the traffic will be only 1 minute of time. So if you are keep on going one by one, so there is a traffic. To reduce that, we'll use all the jobs at a time. So what are the jobs I need to run? Multiple jobs at a time. I can put into the PLSQL code. I can run that. Okay. So main use is that. Okay. The PLSQL as so developed with Ada and Pascal language. So these are the programming languages. So simply these have some syntax in the similar way. So PLSQL also build with the same syntax. Okay, so here see the features of PLSQL block. So okay, PLSQL block. So what are the features of the PLSQL? PLSQL is tightly integrated with SQL. So meaning is what are the things we are performing in the SQL? That are all things we can able to perform in the PLSQL. Okay, so it offers extensive error checking process. So if you are writing the any query, if there is some syntactical difference, mistake, it throw error for that particular statement. So you cannot able to do the solution for that. In the SQL, if you have the query, so in that there is a mistake. You cannot able to provide a solution for that mistake. In the PLSQL, if you have this mistake or error or mistake anything, so you can, if I get this error, I can provide the solution for that. Okay, so that is for the meaning that. So it offers numerous data types. So in the SQL, we have the data types like a number, char, varchar, date, time. These are all the data types we have. You can able to define your own data types. And we have the Boolean data types. Okay, so we have other data types as well, collections, records, these are all things. Okay, so what is the use of that? We'll see in the later classes. Okay, so it offers a variety of programming structure. You can put your own structure. So we have the 5 tasks here. Okay, see the how much money I have in my pocket. Based on that, I can change my plans. Based on that, I can change my plans. If amount is greater than the 1,000 rupees, go to the movie. Okay, if amount is less than that, go to the directly lunch and go for the shopping and come to my house. If I have more than that, so go to the movie and after finishing the movie, come to the shopping and do the lunch. So what the way required, you can put your own structure of the program. Okay, so it supports structure programming through functions and the procedures. So what are the things I am saying, like we can use the all the SQL commands, right? That all commands will written in procedures functions. We have the objects like database objects, how the tables we have, views we have. In the similar way, in the PLSQL we have the procedures functions. In that we can write that code. Okay, it support object oriented programming language. So in the Java, these are C++, we have the object oriented programming. Okay, object-oriented programming we will write. So what is the meaning of the object-oriented programming? So there is some rules for that. There is some concepts. So inheritance, polymorphism. So inheritance in the sense. So now if you have anyone having in the family, anyone having the sugar, so there may be a inheritance disease that. So the doctors will say, right? So if you get the sugar in the early age, so the doctor definitely asks the question like, your parents having the sugar? Yes. Then he will like that is inherited by your parents. Okay, you are taking the reference. So the like disease, you are taking the reference from your parents. In the similar way, you can able to take the reference of the any database object. So that we can say like an inheritance concept. If you are taking any reference, that is inheritance concept. So these type of things can supported by the PLSQL program. Okay, so one to many. So in a variable, you can able to store only one value. So if you have some box, you can able to, if you have the laptop bag, you can keep the only one laptop in that bag. So if you want to put more than that, you can able to put that in the PLSQL. We have the options like to store that. Okay, so you can able to develop the web applications, server pages. So the web application has developed with .NET, Java using that. Okay, in that, if you want to pull any information, that can get by the database. Okay, so to get that information, you can write the procedures, functions, or select queries, anything. So you can write the database code for that. You can invoke that database code from the Java code. And try to join like don't join in between the class. I'm sure it's a request or anything you can treat like it's a hesitating this sound. So you can able to develop the web applications. So you can able to call the database code, Oracle code you can invoke from anywhere. Through Java you can, through .NET you can, through Python you can. Okay. Okay. So these are the advantages, features, advantages, everything almost same. So it have a very detailed information. So SQL is a standard database language. PLSQL is strongly integrated with SQL. Okay, PLSQL supports both static and dynamic SQL. So static in the sense, so whatever the DML commands we have, that you can able to use directly in the PLSQL block. So I said like all the SQL commands you can use in the PLSQL. There is some restrictions to use that. Okay, there is some syntactical differences. You cannot able to use directly how you are writing in select star from table name. So you are using like a select star from table name. So you are using this program. The same program you cannot able to use in the PLSQL directly. Okay, so there is some difference for that. Okay, so you are performing like a, what are the things? Okay, see here. static SQL supports DML operations and transaction control language. So what are we have the transaction control language? Commit, rollback. So you can able to use that directly. How the things you are performing in the SQL and the same way you can able to use in the PLSQL. I will show you each and everything. Okay, so dynamic SQL. We have the dynamic SQL concept. It allows the SQL allows embedding the DDL statement in the PLSQL plan. Meaning is if you want to use the create statement, alter statement. Okay, so create, alter. If you want to perform like a grant, revoke, these are all options you cannot able to use directly. You cannot able to use directly. Okay, to use this directly in the PLSQL block, we'll use the dynamic SQL concept. Simply execute immediate and write this thing in execute immediate. So while running any DDL statement, try to use this prior of that. Simply mention that in a single code. Okay, so this is the dynamic SQL. Nothing we don't have any other things. So dynamic SQL, it's not a big subject here. It's a simple only one command. So while running the any DDL command or data control command, we need to use the execute immediate keyword. This is called it as a dynamic SQL. Okay, so other things. So PLSQL allows sending an entire block of statements to the database at one time. So in the SQL, you will send one by one command. Okay, I will send that all commands, whatever the 5 jobs I said. So I need to check the money, how much money. Based on that, I can change my plans. So I'm checking that. I'm putting some condition. If the amount is greater than this, I will run this job. If the amount is less than that, I will go with the different jobs. Okay, I'm putting some conditional statements. Okay, so PLSQL allows sending a entire block of statements to the database at one time. Okay, this reduce network traffic and provide high performance of application, high performance for the application. So as I said, if all the people are going in 1 minute of time, so like later you don't have any network traffic for that way, that route, right? Okay, so PLSQL gives high productivity to programmers. It can query, transform, update the data in the database. So while performing anything, so if you want to run some query, 5 queries I need to run or 5 tasks I need to perform. For each, so to complete one task, it takes like 1 minute of time. Okay, so you will check that the task is completed or not. Then you will start the second command. You will hit that second command and the third command. So if you want to run one by one, so you will you need to wait for that until that when it get complete. When it get complete, you need to wait for that time and see the when I need to start the next command. So once it get completed the first command, then you will go with the second command. You need to hit the manual hit one by one. Okay, instead of that, if you pass like a bulk of commands, okay, so once it finish the first command, it automatically pick directly the second command. So you are not wasting like 30 seconds, 20 seconds of time also. So the statement is going to change the cursor execution will from first statement to second statement automatically. So you can able to provide some productivity. Results you can able to provide you are saving like if it is like a thousands of line code. So for every second, for every statement, it will take at least if you are completely watching that statements one by one and hitting that. So for each and every statement, So 10 seconds may be taking time. You are wasting the time for hit that 10 seconds. 1000 into 10, almost 100 minutes of time you are wasting. So you can able to save that. For that, you are saving that time. You can invest that time into somewhere to do the other task. That is the productivity improvement. Okay, so we have the other things. PLSQL saves the time on designing and debugging by the strong features such as exception handling, encapsulation, data hiding, and object-oriented data types. So while running any code, if you have thousands of line code, so if any one of the job get failed, so you will stop the program. You will stop the program. So instead of that one, so instead of like a that one error, you are stopping the remaining process. So now we have the thousands of line code. In that, you have the problem with the 200 line code. While running the 200 line code, it is having the problem. So if you are hitting the manually one by one, so if you get that error, you won't skip that, you won't go for the next thing. So you can resolve that and you will move to the further. So instead of that, so I can skip that error. So whatever the error statement we have, I can skip that and I can continue the remaining process using the exception handling process. Instead of stopping the program, entire program, I can skip that error and I can save that error number in some place. Okay, we can able to save the what the line number having that issue. Okay, we can see that at the later things. Okay, so data hiding. So encapsulation, I don't know what the meaning for that. So data hiding. So you can able to, so whatever the commands you are running publicly, so how the commands you are inserting into right? These commands I can put it into some procedure or function. Okay, I can run that procedure name. So while inserting the data into the table, I will use the insert into table name values and everything, right? So instead of while using that, simply I will use the select star from. So select star from table name. Select star from table name. You are using only database object name. So what are the things we are using that statements that we can put into the procedure or function, and we can run that procedure name. We can execute that. Okay, so object-oriented data types. As I said, we have data types like collections that we can say object-oriented data types. So taking the reference, anchor data types we have. So I will show you. Okay, so applications written in the PLSQL are fully portable. So now we are writing the database code that you are invoking from the Java. Later days, your organization has changed the plan to from Java to change that web application designment Java to the .NET or PHP or Python, anything. So those people are asked to change the front-end application from one software to another software. The database code will be same. It won't change. You can able to invoke the code from whatever the code you are invoking from the Java, that you can able to invoke from the .NET also. That is called as a portable. Okay, so PLSQL provide a high security level. So whatever the code you are writing in the PLSQL, you can hide that, you can wrap that code. So whatever the things you are password, right? While entering the Gmail password, so where the values you are entering, it won't show that words. It stores the star symbol, something like dot symbol or anything. In the similar way, what the query you written, that you can able to hide that. after writing the code, you can hide that code. You can wrap that. You can able to wrap that. So whatever the things you are writing, that you can wrap that. I will show you the examples how to wrap that. So, and if you are working in the banking projects, those people will use the wrapping the code for the security purpose. Okay, so PLSQL provide access to the predefined SQL packages. So to simplify our work, so we use now like a dynamic SQL, execute immediate, right? So that is developed by the PLSQL, one of the SQL package. We have the predefined SQL package, DBMS underscore standard, like that. We have one package, inbuilt package. In that there is some procedure for that. So that is the dynamic SQL. Like that, we have some standard packages. So if we want to write the data, whatever the data we have in the table, that we need to write the data into the file. If you want to write the data from table to the table data to the file, normal file, text file, we'll use the UTL underscore file package. So if we want to load the data from file to the table, we'll use the DBMS we have like UTL underscore file package to write the data, to read the data. So you are reading the data from file. You are writing the data from table to the file. So we have some standard packages. So we'll see in the later. So I said like it supports the object-oriented programming. Yes, it supports. Okay, so supports developing the web application and server pages. PLSQL will develop the web applications also. Will help that. Okay, so we'll see how will you run the PLSQL. How will you write that in the PLSQL code? What is the basic syntax for that? So we are saying, so in if you are writing anything in the SQL, we are saying as a query. Okay, so we are call it as a query. So if you are writing anything in the PLSQL, that we can call it as a block. It's how the block structure programming. Everything, whatever the things you are writing in the PLSQL, that we can call it as every statement as a block. Every statement as a block. Okay, this means that program are divided and written in logical blocks of the code. So each block consists of 3 subparts. So I'm saying everything we written in the form of block. So the block contains 3 sections. The block contains the 3 structures. Every PLSQL statement ends with a semicolon. So in the SQL also we'll write every statement, insert into table name values. For every statement we will mentioning the semicolon. If you write the select query, update query, delete query, anything, every statement is terminated with a semicolon. Okay, so in the similar way, every PLSQL statement ends with a semicolon. Okay, this is common from the anywhere. Okay, PLSQL blocks can be nested with another PLSQL block. So in one block, you can able to use the another block, PLSQL block. So in the SQL also, we have the tables, right? Inside the table, you can able to use the another table. So now we have the option like we have some employee information. In that there is an address column. So I need to maintain the address information. Address ID 1, address ID 2, city, pin code, state. We have 5 columns. So instead of maintaining the 5 columns, I can create some table for the address and store that address table information in that record. We can able to use the table as a data type. We have some collections, object oriented concept I said, right? We are inheriting that. We have the option for to use the nested table. Nested. Within the table, if you use any other table, that we can call it as a nested table. In the similar way, we can use the nested blocks inside the block. So treat like I said, this is your house. Okay, inside that you can build your, so guards for that you can build some, so what we can say, small house for the to put the guards in that place. Okay, in the similar way you can able to use the one table, and inside that you can able to mention another table as well as a nested. You are nested in some other table as a data type. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, so the syntax is, I said this everything call it as a block. Okay, block starts with the declare keyword, ends with the end keyword. Okay, so in the this is one section, declarative section. Till declare to begin, in between we have the section 1. Okay, till begin to end we have, this is the 2. Section 2. So in begin to end in between we have the exception. Exception is another section. It is the third. Okay, so here this is the optional section. This is the optional section. If you write or not, I don't bother about that. It can work for that. If it required to declare anything, we'll use a declarative section. I don't want to declare anything, so I don't need this declarative section. So directly I can use the main section or a executable section. So this section having the 3 sections here. So this block having the 3 sections, declarative section and the main block, declarative section or main section. This is the main section. In the main section, we have another section like a exception section. So whatever the query, whatever the errors we are, I said like a thousands of line code. And if we have that error in 200 line, I need to catch that error. I need to store that. I need to provide solution for that. So while running any query, you may get the errors, runtime errors. While running, you will get the errors. To handle that errors, we'll use the exception section. Okay, so declarative section and exception section is the optional. Optional. So if it required to provide the solution, we'll use the exception. If I get the error, I need to ignore and I need to continue based on your requirement. If it required to stop the program, use the exception problem. If you don't need, use directly. Okay, your requirement. So declarative section will help you to declare the variables, constants, cursors. So why should we require the variables? So we are using here a select star from EMP. Now you are using this query. You are getting the data directly. You are not using anything. Yes. Okay, so we are using this query. We are not at all using any variables here. Whatever the table we have the columns, that you are getting the information from that column. Okay, so I said, so if you want to, so Now you are getting the data. So where the data is stored? In the database. The database mainly okay, so the data is stored into the SQL. The PLSQL does not have capacity to store. PLSQL does not have the capacity to store the information. So whatever the information you are storing in the SQL, that you are fetching from the PLSQL. From the PLSQL. So you are fetching the information from the SQL to the PLSQL. So you are working in the PLSQL. So meaning is, if you have some house, so you are staying in SR Nagar. Now you are going to shift that house from X place to Y place. Okay, if you want to shift that, so you need to take you need to become like, you have the two houses. So if some guests are, no, not suit for that. Not suit for that. Okay. Now we have this house. You are staying in SR Nagar. Okay, your parents are staying in a village. Okay, now the floods is came in Kadapa. The people will ask the government people is came to who are staying in house. So you get some compensation for that. So our parents definitely asked to. So if someone is coming by like tomorrow, you will get some, definitely you will get some prior information to you. Okay, our parents will call to us. So man, come to house. These people are coming. So we are the part of that house only, right? So we need to keep that. You people are staying in Hyderabad. Your parents are coming from this calling, right? So you, instead of, the parents are calling, you are going to directly from this place to that. Okay, this place from Hyderabad to Kadapa you are traveling. So where you are exactly stored? Hyderabad. You are staying in exactly Hyderabad. So but you are showing as a village guy. So to work in the similar way, you are staying in the table. So the data is get stored in a table. The table will be in a SQL. So if you want to use that data in the PLSQL, okay, you people are staying in this house. Now, how many people are staying in this house? That is the capacity of your house. So treat like as this is the 2 BHK house. Your village is having like a, so if you want to stay like this is having, we are like 5 people in Hyderabad. Now we are trying to travel from the Hyderabad to Kadapa. Now there is a house capacity must and should be a same. If it is the 2 BHK people, in this you have the capacity to store the 5 people, staying the 5 people. In the similar house need to be in your village. Then only you can able to stay. So ఇక్కడ మన దగ్గర ఒక హౌస్ లో 10 మెంబర్స్ స్టే చేయడానికి మన దగ్గర కెపాసిటీ ఉన్నప్పుడు, ఇది మనం ఉన్నది 10 మెంబర్స్ ఉన్నాం హౌస్ లో. సో మనం విలేజ్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు కూడా ఆ విలేజ్ లో కూడా మన 10 మెంబర్స్ స్టే చేయడానికి మన హౌస్ కి కెపాసిటీ ఉండాలి. అప్పుడే మనం 10 మెంబర్స్ ఇందులో ఉన్నారు అని చెప్పి ఆ గవర్నమెంట్ అయినా అగ్రీ చేస్తుంది, లేకపోతే చేయదు. అవునా? సో ఇక్కడ SQL లో ప్రతిదీ డేటా మొత్తం నీకు డేటాబేస్ లో ఉంటుంది. ఆ డేటా అనేది ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది? SQL లో ఉంటుంది. నువ్వు దాన్ని యూజ్ చేయాలంటే PLSQL కి తేవాలి. సో అంటే ఇది టెంపరరీ హౌస్ PLSQL. నీవు 10 మెంబర్స్ని తెస్తున్నావు అంటే 10 మెంబర్స్కి కెపాసిటీకి నువ్వు అరేంజ్ చేయాలి. Those people need to be stay in the house. You need to arrange for that arrangements like food, bed, anything. So we are capturing like a nine column information here. So you need to put like as a bed 9 beds. So need to take the data from employee table. This is the employee number, this is the e-name, whatever the columns we have. If it required like a, so you are getting the benefit for the only 3 people. If the age is greater than 3, so 30, then only you are getting some benefit. Your parents will ask, so please come like you and your wife, not the child. Keep the child in that Hyderabad itself. So what the required data for you? Take that required columns and put that into the PLSQL block. Okay, so I will show you. Now, how can we write the declare? So this is the declare. Before that, I can show you something here. So in the declarative section, we will use the variables, cursors, subprograms, other elements based on your program. So in the executable statements, in this, you can write the inserts, update, all SQL commands, DDL commands, DML commands, data query language, anything, whatever the commands we have in till now in the SQL, creating index, creating view, creating sequence, anything, whatever the things you perform till now in the SQL, all the things you can able to use in this executable statements. Okay, so that is the main section. If I get any error, runtime error of while running that any executable command, to handle that we'll use the exception block. Okay, so we'll see. So what are the things I have explained now? So I will show you types of blocks and everything. See, this is SQL. Okay, this is PLSQL. So as I said, in the executable commands, I can use directly all type of commands. I can use all the commands in the executable statement. Now SQL. So in the SQL, we'll use the select employee number from employee table. We'll get the employee information. Okay, if we want to use this same statement in the PLSQL, so we need to declare one variable for that variable v underscore emp number. So you are getting the information from the table that need to be stored. So how you are calling from your child from the Hyderabad to village, you need to arrange some space to stay those people in the house. That is the variable. Variable is a container to store some information in that. Variable is a container to store some information in that. Okay, so now here we need to use the into keyword. So you are getting your child from Hyderabad to this. Okay, so you are getting like 2 people, C1, C2 variables are son, daughter-in-law. Okay, you need to arrange for the both. So this need to be stay in this place. This need to be stay in this place. You are getting the data from C1, C2 column info, or treat like as employee number, employee name. You are getting the 2 people, right? So you are calling for the 2 people. You need to arrange the 2 variables for that. You are calling the data from the table using 2 variables or 2 columns. So you need to be arranged 2 variables for that to store information. Yeah, for every column, it need to be one variable. If we use a star, so how can we manage that? These are all things we can see later. Now we will see the individual columns. Okay, so this is If you want to use the select query in the PL/SQL block, we need the into class. Why we need the into? It's a temporary space. You are staying here. It is not your permanent space. Okay, DDL commands. So DDL commands you can able to use directly in the SQL. Create table name as like that. So if you want to use the same statement in the PL/SQL, we need to use the dynamic SQL concept. As I said, execute immediate is the keyword. See here, if you want to perform any DDL commands in the PL/SQL, we need the dynamic SQL concept. So execute immediate is the keyword. Execute immediate is the keyword to perform the DDL operation in the PL/SQL. Okay, so data control language. So data control language is also, as I said, if you want to perform the DDLs and data control language, we need the dynamic SQL. We need the dynamic SQL. So similar, same like as a DDL, execute immediate and put that statement in the single quotes. Okay. Transaction control language. As I said, we can use directly without any difference. So how the way you are using in the SQL, in the similar way you can able to use in the PL/SQL as well. Okay, DML. This is also same. How you are performing in the SQL, in the similar way you can able to use in the PL/SQL. Okay, these are the how you can use that commands in the executable commands. So in the create DDL, so as I said, we can create the indexes, we can create the views, we can create the sequences. All are the DDL commands only. If you are creating the database object, that may be a different object. All are the DDL commands only. Okay, so everything this only. Nothing we have any other things. All the PL/SQL, all the SQLs are depend on these commands only. Okay, we'll see the practical example. We'll see the practical example. Now, so variable declaration. So I'm declaring some variable. Okay, so that is the data type of varchar2 of 100. Okay, now I'm cancelling this. Now I declare the variable. Now I'm trying to, if you are using something, right? So your father asked to came to your house. You people are came to the house. So now the population, like the government people are came to your house. So those people will ask, right? So you are saying like your parents are saying like we are staying 5 people in this house. Those people will ask to show you proof. So I need to call them. So if you want to call them, so I want to show there, right? In the PL/SQL, you are if you want to show that information to the government, so I need to use the dbms underscore output data put underscore line. Dbms underscore output is the package. As I said, like we have standard packages, right? In the PL/SQL features. This is the one of the package. This is the one of the procedure. It help you to print the information on the screen. So whatever the information you are fetching from the SQL, you need to show that, right? To show that, to display the information to the screen, we'll use the dbms underscore output dot put underscore line object. Okay, now see, I am declaring one variable as a message. Message is the variable name, and this is the definition, column definition. Definition in the sense data type size you are declaring, right? That we can call it as a definition. Okay, column definition or variable declaration. Now we declare the variable. Now we declare the variable. Now I am running this statement. To run that, simply use that. Now it is showing PL/SQL procedure successfully completed. Okay, you are not getting any information here. So I need to show them, right? Your father asked me to come to your village. I went for that. Okay, I need to show them, right, to the people. Okay, if he's in the he went for the some gardening like some place nearby town or something like. So if like those people are coming in some time, he's not present in that place. So I want to show them, right? So I want to show them. So to show that, so I need to now I declare the variable. I need to request that person, please be available at house itself till evening. I request my child to stay in, please be available in house itself till the evening. Okay, now I requested that. So to request that, now I need to initialize this. How the sequence we created yesterday, we created the sequence. If you haven't initialized that, you cannot able to use that, right? Create sequence name we use. If you haven't initialized that, you cannot able to use that. To initialize that. So now we declare the variable. So now we declare the variable. You need to assign someone to stay in that. So I need to make it like as a Shiva. I need to store the Shiva information in this. Now I'm staying like I am like putting into Shiva into that place. He need to be available in that place. Now I'm initializing the variable value. So this is you declare the variable here. I'm initializing the value to that variable. So variable is a container to store the information. To store the any value, it may be a number data type, it may be a varchar, it may be a date, anything based on your declaration. If you make it like I say, this is for the, so if you have like a male, female, so you need to make it like I said, male and female. Difference is data type. So now I'm declaring, I assign some variable for that. Okay, now I'm calling this. Still you are not getting any information. The screen, print screen is not activated. Okay, to activate that print screen, we need to use the set server output on. Server output on is the option to start the print screen option. Okay, so now if you run that code, okay, dbms underscore output is the package to display the information on the screen. To print the values, we'll use the dbms underscore output dot put underscore line pack information. Okay, this is the way you need to start the print screen option. You need to enable the print screen. Set server output on. So what are the things you are showing as output? You need to on that output on the server. Okay. Set server output is help you to start the printing information on the screen. Okay. Now, as I said, I declare the variable, right? Now, see, I am passing some string here. I say no. I say concatenated. Okay, see here, no Shiva. So it is getting that. Okay. Now I said like without initializing the value to that variable. Without. So here I am saying no is. Okay, now I am running this. See what the output we are going to get. You are not getting any information here because you haven't initialized any value to this variable till this statement. You initialize the variable here. Then you are getting the value using this statement. For the message, you don't initialize any value till this place. Till this place. Go to the toggle line numbers. See, Now we declare the variable in the 5th line. You assign the variable value to that variable in 9th line. In the 9th line. So till that you don't have any information in this variable. It's a empty. It's a empty. So this is printing the empty. No SS you are getting here, but you don't getting any information for that variable. It's a null for that. You don't have anything. Okay. Now I initialize the variable here. Now I'm printing this here. Now you are getting the value. No, Shiva. Okay. This is about the variable declaration and the value assignment. This is the value assignment. This is the main block. This is the main block. You haven't mentioned the exception block here. We haven't mentioned any exception block. So I don't need this. I don't need this. So I don't need this variable as well. Simply I need to pass that. No. You can use this. I don't need any declarative section here. I don't need any declarative section. I don't need any exception section. Based on my requirement, I can choose how to I write the code. ఎవరికైనా ఏమైనా డౌట్ ఉంటే చెప్పండి. If I understand this block structure, then only we can understand the remaining ones. Anyone from online? No concern?
Sir.
చెప్పండి.
ఇక్కడ మనము వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటేనే, అంటే వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే మనము ఈ డేటా అనేది స్టోర్ అవుతుంది అన్న కదా. నాకు శివ అని క్రియేట్ చేశారు కదా వేరియబుల్, అక్కడ స్టోరేజ్ కూడా ఇక్కడ మీరు ఇది ఇవ్వకోకుండానే అవుట్పుట్ వచ్చింది కదండి సార్, అవసరం లేదా?
అదే చెప్తున్నాను. సో ఇక్కడ నాకు వేరియబుల్ అనేది అవసరం లేదు, నేను హార్డ్ కోడ్ చేశాను వాల్యూ ఇక్కడ. సో డిఫాల్ట్ గా నా హౌస్ లో శివ అనేవాడే ఉంటాడు, నో అనేవాడే ఉంటాడు ఇక్కడ. అప్పుడు నేను వేరియబుల్ తీసుకొని నేను అసైన్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, నేను డైరెక్ట్ గా సో ఒకడే ఉంటాడు క్యాండిడేట్, నేను డైరెక్ట్ గా హార్డ్ కోడ్ చేశాను అని. Okay, keep on mute. So now we see the variable declaration, right? So now I'm writing this code. Now we are displaying this, right? Now you are getting the no value for that. Now I'm putting the comment for that. Now I'm writing this line. Now I hit this. Now see the statement color got changed. It's disabled. The statement is not in the enable. See here, if I remove this is not getting. Okay, see, I'm declaring the variable. Declare v number. So I declare the variable. Okay, now I'm assigning some value to this v 1 2 3 4. I'm assigning this. Okay, now I'm asking to print this. So now I'm calling this, I'm running this. So the set server output need to be enabled again. I'm clearing my screen and I'm printing this. Now you are getting the no here. Okay, no here. Okay, now I'm disabling this. Whatever the code I am returning this. See here. Now no, right? So variable v value is So I'm saying like, this is hard-coded value. This is a string I am passing here. This is hard-coded value or string. You are passing string. Whatever the things you are passing in the single code, it act like as a string. And you are concatenated with this v variable. Now I am printing this. Now I am printing this. Now variable v value is 1 2 3 4. Variable value v is 1 2 3 4. Okay, variable value is 1 2 3 4. You are getting the data like that. Okay, now I'm putting this line as a comment. Now value initialization for the variable, initializing the value to that variable. So I'm assigning some value to that variable. Here I'm assigning the value, right? Till now you don't have any variable, just you declare the variable. You haven't said any information. So your father haven't said any information. You need to stay in this house. You need to stay in this house. Haven't said any information. So while I haven't assigned any information to this variable. Okay, till now I assigned, right? Now I put this as a comment. I disable this statement. What will happen? See now. You get the null for that. Variable value is, you are not getting this value because the line is get commented. So it look like as a code is present in this, code is present in your, so this line is present in your code, but it is not there is no value for this line. There is no value for that line. Okay, so this is the meaning about the comment. This is the single line comment. If you want to disable the, only one line of code, will you see hyphen two times? Hyphen two times. This is the single line comment. So if you want to disable the multiple lines of code, so I want to disable the multiple lines of code till this value also /star. Okay. And //. Now I disable this. Now till now you are getting the variable value is also. Now I am running this. You haven't get any information. See, you got only no. These two statements are ignored. These two statements are ignored till now. Okay, this is about the comments. Single line comment, multi-line comment. If you want to disable the current line, we'll use the hyphen. If you want to disable the multiple lines, we'll use the // and in between //. Okay. So this is about that. So we'll see. So we said like a PLSQL is everything we written in the blocks. Okay, blocks. So what are the types of blocks we have? What are the types of blocks we have? Okay, so what are the declarative section will contain? See, PLSQL identifiers we are seeing. The PLSQL identifiers are declared in the declarative section. You are declaring some variable that we can call it as an identifier. If you declare some constants, so constants in the sense the value never change. So if you have the pi value, pi in the mathematical we have pi 22/7, you get like a 3.75 is the value. The value never change at any time. Pi value will be same. Those type of things we can declare in the declarative section as a constant. Normal value, it may be changed at any time. Now we assign the value like Shiva for that v equal to 1 2 3 4. In the later, if you assign some value like a 1 2 5, it change that value. You can able to change the value. You can assign any number of values at it ignore the previous value, it store that value. Okay, so and procedures we have, exceptions we have, cursors, reserved words. Okay, we can use we will know each and everything in the later classes. Okay, so you know till now you can able to understand the constants and variables. Okay, why we require the variables? If you want to get the information from SQL to PL/SQL, we need the variables. Okay, so that the identifiers consist of a letter optionally followed by more than the 30 letters. So while declaring the variable length must and should be less than 1 to 30. Minimum length will be 1, maximum is 30. So you need to be maintain that length must and should be 1 to 30 characters. Minimum is 1. Okay, and identifier are they not case sensitive. You declare the variable here v in a small case. Now I am disabling this command. Now I am trying to print the value using capital V. Okay, Oracle can understand. So Oracle is a not case sensitive, right? Now see, you are getting the value 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a in case sensitive. It's a not a case sensitive. Okay, so you can use the integer or integer to present the numerical values. You cannot use a reserved keyword as an identifier. So if you want to declare this, so now we have the number, right? So number is the data type. So you cannot able to use as a variable this. You cannot able to use this as a variable. So treat like as a number and varchar. To understand varchar 2 of 20. Okay, now I'm declaring this variable. See, expression v is inappropriate, the left hand side of the argument. You cannot able to use the reserved keywords. Reserved keywords you cannot able to use directly like that. It gives the compilation error. Okay, so that is about the meaning about that. Okay, so what are the types of blocks we have? So I said everything we can call it as a block. Is there any types for that? Is we have 2 types of blocks. So one is a anonymous block, another one is the named block. Anonymous, no name, named block. Okay, so whatever the block we written now, this is a anonymous block. There is no name for this. There is no name for this. Is there any name for this? No. So if you want to make it as a named block, so we have the named block and the anonymous block. This is the anonymous block. Okay, so if you want to make it like as an anonymous block to named block. So see here, named block and anonymous block both having the 3 sections: declarative section, exception section. So and this is the execution section. This is the exception handling section. So I said like everything will follow.
స్క్రీన్ స్ట్రక్ అయిందన్న.
నీకే ఏంటి తమ్ముడు, ఎవరికి కాలేదు? Anyone having any?
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే అన్న. ఇప్పుడు ఓకే అన్న.
Okay. So anonymous block, named block. So every block having the same structure: declarative section, execution section, exception handling. Okay, whatever the code we written now till now, we can make it as a named block for this. So in the named block, we have 2 things. In the named block, we have 2 things. So procedure and function. Procedure and function. We have the two things. So now we will see one of the named block as a procedure. So how we return that named block to the anonymous block to the named block? Simply need to create procedure name as a P1. I'm make it like as a P11 is the name. It's a name like else like a named block. I'm mentioning the name block as a named block. Okay, as so simply copy this and remove this declarative section. Okay, and run and make it as a named block. So it is showing the error because you declare the number as a number is the result keyword you use, right? So I removed that. Now I am creating this. So named block is already, so name is already used by an existing object. So if you get that error, so while creating the view, if you use like a R replace option, else you need to drop this block and need to recreate that. Procedure name. Now I drop that. Now I'm creating that again. Now see the procedure compiled. Till now you are getting the output. If you run the anonymous block, you are getting the PL/SQL procedure successfully completed. You are compiling the code and executing directly. Now you are getting the output like as a. Now you are getting the output like as a compiled. See, now I'm dropping the object and I'm removing this and I'm running this again. Now see, a procedure named block compiled, not executed. Okay, we need to execute that again. So is the keyword. Execute is the keyword. So named underscore block. See, the same whatever the things you are performing is the anonymous block that you can able to perform simply running this code. You are hiding this code. You are hiding this code. In the anonymous block, you are writing the code from there and you are running the same code. Okay, you can able to do the code changes at any time. So there is access for you directly. If I provide the name for this, if I provide the name, run this code, you will get this output. I'm saying that. So you cannot able to see the code for this. Now we written this code, right? You can able to wrap this code. We have some wrapper package. Using that, we will see. So after completion of the package concept, we will see how to wrap the code, how to unwrap. So this is about the PL/SQL basic. I will explain the things by tomorrow. So what is the procedure? What is the function? These are all things I will explain by tomorrow. So try to use this. What are the okay? We'll see each and every one. So an anonymous block, I will show you how can we use the SQL command. So let's complete for that. Now I need to display the employee information. V underscore employee number as that number. Okay, so now I said like I need the employee number column. So EMP number from employee table. Now I don't need this declarative section for now. I'm running this only this statement. I said like a declarative section is the optional and exception section is optional. Now I'm running this. This is the block. If you mention anything begin and end in between the code, that we can call it as a block. If you start the block and start with the declarative keyword and ends with the end keyword. So you may start the block from begin onwards sometimes. Now I'm starting my block. I'm running this block. See. And into class is expected in this select statement. You cannot able to use select query how that way you are using in the SQL. If you want to use a select query in the PLSQL, you are calling your parents from Hyderabad to Kadapa, but you need to arrange some place to stay him. So for that, you declare some variable for that. Now you declare some variable for that, v underscore emp number. So need assign that into that variable, v underscore emp number. Now I said that. So move the data. So move like which person is coming from that Hyderabad to Kadapa, put it into this variable. I'm saying that way. Now I'm running this. So it is showing error. Exact fetch returns more than the requested number of rows. So you ask like, so come you only man, no need your wife, your child. Your father is requested for you only. You came like with your parents and your child and wife. See how much data you have in this. On this query, you are getting like a 50, more than 50 rows. 225 rows we have in this. Actually, we have how many? Actually, we have how many? So you ask the only one single variable. So the variable have the capacities to store only one value. One value. The similar kind of people. So you requested the childs. So the childs may have more than one also, right? So you requested for the child one. Child two also came here directly. You cannot able to accommodate two people in the same variable. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఏమన్నా డౌట్ ఉంటే చెప్పండి. ఇప్పుడు ఎందుకు ఈ ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది మనకి? నేను ఒక్కరిని రమ్మని చెప్తే ఇద్దరు వచ్చారు. నాకు 2 చైల్డ్స్ ఉంటే చిన్నోడు రా అంటే పెద్దోడు వచ్చిండు, ఇద్దరు వచ్చిండు ఒకేసారి. సో చిన్నోడు రమ్మన్నా పెద్దోడు ఒకడే వచ్చాడు అనుకో, నేను వాడిని అరేంజ్ చేసుకుంటాను అందులోనే. అందులో ఉన్నరా చెప్తావని వాడు అర్థం చేసుకుని ఉంటాడు. వాడే వస్తే వాడు అందులో ఉంటాడు. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇద్దరు కలిసి వచ్చారనుకో, నేను ఎక్కడ ఉంచాలి? ఎగ్జాక్ట్ ఫెచ్ రిటర్న్స్ మోర్ దాన్ వన్ వాల్యూ. సో నువ్వు చెప్పింది నేను ఒక వాల్యూని స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటా అని నాకు చెప్తే నువ్వు దానికన్నా ఎక్కువ ఇస్తున్నావు, నేను ఎక్కడ ఉంచాలి దాన్ని? సో అది ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది. ఇలాంటి ఎర్రర్ వచ్చినప్పుడు దీన్ని ఎక్సెప్షన్ సెక్షన్ యూజ్ చేసి హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తాం. సో ఎక్సెప్షన్ సెక్షన్ యూజ్ చేసి హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తాం. ఇట్లా too many rows. Then pass some dbms underscore output statement. For time being, there is an error. Like all the people came. Arrange accommodation. Okay, maintain some information to understand. Now we are not providing any solution, just we are understanding like what the exception we have now. Now I am running this. Now the PLSQL procedure is successfully completed. Without error, it got success. Now you are not seeing that error message. You put some error message, so need to on that output. So go to that view and see the DBMS underscore output option here. Click that and go to this option and use this. Whatever the browser we have, HR and HR unshared thing, right? Use that. Now you can run the statement again. Still you are not getting. So try to use the set server output option. That's the best way. Sometimes it won't work that option. So try to use the set server output option to get the prints to activate the print screen option. See here, all the people came. Please arrange accommodation. Okay, this is the way you can simplify your work. Now we else will make it like I say. And EMP number. So now I'm running this. Now I'm trying to retrieve the employee information. What are the employee we have? Where employee number equals to 7369. Now I'm retrieving the about the employee information Smith. Okay, now same thing I'm going to retrieve with the PLSQL block. Okay, simply employee number I'm mentioning, right? Now I'm make it as I need to display whichever employee number I'm passing. I need that employee name. So if I pass the employee number, I need to show as a name for that employee. Okay, v underscore e name is the variable. Now I'm declaring with a different way. Sorry, we need that. We need that v underscore emp number, and we need another variable also. Providing the input to the query, we need that one variable v underscore emp number. We need to display, right? So you are fetching like employee name. So you are fetching like an employee name. So we need another variable v underscore e name. Arcat2 of 20. Okay, now I declared another variable. So now I make it like I say, what are the value I am fetching from employee name from the employee table that I am storing into v underscore e name variable. V underscore e name variable. So what the employee number I need? Employee number equals to, so what the variable I'm passing here. So make it like I say 7369 is the input. 7369 is the input. Now I'm running this. So I need to show that employee name, right? So I'm displaying the output. So employee name is v underscore e name. Okay, now I'm running this. See, employee name is Smith. Okay, now to make as a dynamic input, if you want to provide that input to the system as a dynamically, EMP number. So anything you can pass the variable name. It asks with the, you need to understand. If I ask that, I need to be, see here, enter value for employee number. So same thing I'm 7902. Now I'm passing it as a 7902. I will get the Ford. Okay. Got it? So this is the way we'll write the SQL command. So if you want to store like both employee number and job also I need to show. Based on the employee number, I need to show job as well. I need to show job as well. V underscore job. So it's a varchar 2 of 20. Okay, I need to show, I'm storing that as a job. Underscore job. See, now I'm make it like I say two variable. I'm fetching the two variables, two column information from the SQL. Now I'm keeping with the only one variable. Now what the error you will get here? See. Not enough values. Not enough values. I'm removing this. I'm hard coding with only one value 7369. Okay, so you are getting the not enough values error. Now I'm running this code. See, not enough values. So you are fetching that. You are fetching that from SQL to PLSQL with two variables. You need to put that in two values. Two values. So you declared only one value. So while inserting the data into the table, insert into column list, column 1, column 2, column 3. In the value list also, we need to mention how many values we have. How many columns you mentioned in the column list, that many values you need to mention. If you haven't mentioned that, you will get the not enough values. If you get more number of values, you will get the too many values error. Okay, now I'm mentioning this as well. V underscore job is the another variable. Now I'm trying to run this. See, employee name is Smith, job is Clark. Okay, this is the way we need to use. If you have 10 variables, you need to use the 10 declaration and use that. Okay, you are clear with the select query now. Any doubt? Okay, now I am using this, right? Now I make it like as a 73609 employee. Now I'm trying to retrieve this employee information. If whatever the employee value you are going to search, he is not present in that employee table, you will get the error. See here, no data was found from object. You handle for only too many values error. You handled with only too many values error. You can able to handle with another error as well. No data found. So make it like I say. Just I am disabling this statement. I will explain the later. Okay, now I am make it some value like a no employee font. No employee font. Now I'm running this statement. Now I'm running this statement. See here. Now we are getting the no data found from that object. Now it's simply you are getting the no employee found option. This is the solution I am providing that. This is about the select query in a PLSQL block. Now we'll see the now I'm taking the data from employee table. employee. Okay, where by number equal to 7369. I'm not performing much statements here. So simply I'm taking this, taking the insert statement. Report, next finish. Okay, now I'm removing this insert statement. Simply I'm inserting the data using this. Okay, so now I'm changing with okay, 7369 instead of that 7309 I'm mentioning. Okay, now I'm running this. I'm running this. We don't need this any variables here. We don't need these variables, but I'm declared that, but I haven't used that. No problem if I have that also. Now I'm running this statement. See, if you are inserting like a 7309. That value is already present or not in the employee table. No employee information in that, right? Now I'm trying to run this query. Now the PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Check that. So I said you can able to perform DML statement, insert, update directly, how you are performing in the SQL. In the similar way, you can able to perform this as well. Okay, so this is about the in DML statements. So I said like we can able to see. Okay, so we use the commit statement here. If I get the error, so if I get the error here while running this, if I get the error, so the system, if you are performing any DML statement on the table, that need to be committed explicitly, because it's a non-auto committed command. We need to use the manual commit. DDL commands are the auto committed, DML commands are the non-auto committed command. So we need to use the manual commit. Okay, manual commit. So we'll use the manual commit for that. So while running that, you may get error. So you perform this insert operation, you got the error in this place. The program will go onto the exception block. You haven't performed the rollback option here. If I get the error, so now I'm running this. If I get the error, so now I don't know like what the exception get occur, right? We have to handle all type of errors. Simply go with the others. This is the exception to handle all type of exception. It catch the too many values, it catch the no data found. Every exception can catch that. And now I'm removing this. Now I'm removing this. So meanwhile, we'll comment this. What the error we are going to get that we'll see. Now I commented that. So what the error we are going to get that, can you observe that? So InIQ constraint violated. You are getting the error now while inserting that, you are getting the InIQ constraint violation error. To handle that, so the table get, now you perform like you hitted the DML statement for the table. If you perform the DML statement on table, you need to be use either commit or rollback need to be used, else the table get locked. The table get locked. To overcome that issues, we need to maintain that in exception block as a rollback statement. In the starting of the state, you need to use the rollback. If I get any problem, whatever the transaction I am performing, either insert, update, delete, that can roll back. I'm rollbacking that statement. I'm rollbacking that statement. Simply like that. Now see, you haven't get any error here. Okay, this is the way we can declare the DML. Sorry, we use the DML's select query in that way. See, I said like a TCL commands are directly allowed. We use the commit directly. Okay. Now we left with only DDL commands. So now I need to create the table. I need to create the table. Create table C as the column, number as the data type. Okay, now I'm creating the table C1 with a C column. Now I'm running this. I don't need this any variables here. Okay, I no need this declarative section as well. Okay, now I'm running this. So what it is showing? So encounter the symbol. So I'm removing this entire statement. I'm running again. So you return this, you are getting the error. Encounter the symbol create when expected one of the following. Okay, so begin case. So it is expecting the set SQL execute command. So if we want to use the create command, we need to use the execute immediate keyword. So we need to use the dynamic SQL for that. As I said, we need to use the dynamic SQL for that. Simply use that exe execute. Immediate and pass that statement into the single quote. Okay, now run this. You won't get any error. Now that PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Check the table is created or not. Select start from C. C is the column you created with this. The table get created. Okay, drop the table. Okay, before that, grant, provide the grant. Data control language, grant all on C1 to the public or system user. Provide that required user. Provide that. Run that. Now I'm removing the exception block also. If you have any exception, you will identify, right? Okay. PLSQL successfully completed. No error. Okay, if I remove this execute statement, execute immediate, we'll get the error again. Okay, you cannot able to use directly create command, grant command, what are the DDL commands and the data control language we have, we cannot able to use directly. So if you want to use that, we need the dynamic SQL concept. Okay, so this is about the PLSQL basics. This is what the things we have performed now, that we will write it into procedures, functions, packages. We have what other database objects. These operations only we will perform into that. If you know this thoroughly, you can easily identify the things very clearly. There is some minor difference. Just we name that as a named block. So simply we may make it as a named block with providing we created the procedure as a named block. So in the named block, we have procedure function. Just I mentioned as a procedure as a named block. Mention here as a function also. I will show you the things by tomorrow. Okay. This is about the PLSQL introduction. These are the new features. This is the programming language. Anyone having any concern, any doubt,